I've never played this one before. Well, obviously we haven't. I've never played. I've only played like the very beginning of Ace Attorney before. So this is the farthest I've ever gotten with playing it, but I hear this case is very hard. So this will be interesting. All right. Hi, Ozzy. My kitty cat's being needy. That's okay. That's how he is. He's a needy boy. Ooh. You are right. We are going to continue Poirot. I forgot about that. I was on vacation when Amanda played. So yeah, absolutely. We're going to keep playing Poirot. It's been 2 months since Maya left the office. 2 months without a single trial. I've had offers, but none I took. That is, until the day that girl showed up. All right. February 22nd, 10:02 a.m., Wright and Company Law Offices. Back in the office. Why do I come here to the office every day? Phoenix! It's not like I want to work. Phoenix, nobody wants to work, but we all have to. There you are, finally! Where have you been? I'm trying to think of a voice for her. I don't want to do Maya. She seems a little older than Maya. Okay. She's got some pens and some chemicals in her bag. So, I'll just do like a little bit higher, but not quite Maya high. My sister's trial is tomorrow. Who are you? It doesn't matter who I am. It only matters who you are. The famous defense attorney, Mia Fey. Defense attorney Mia Fey, and you're talking to a man. Oh, you're not Mia Fey, are you? I'm sorry, but Ms. Mia Fey no longer works here. So you are the coffee boy? Thanks. I'm Phoenix Wright, a defense attorney. Right. Wait! You're the Phoenix Wright? So you knew who... What address did you come to? I don't know, like, the name would be out there. Phoenix Wright from the Edgeworth murder case? Yes, that's correct. It wasn't Edgeworth who was murdered, though. That's a relief, then. You're better than nobody. Oh, he's, like, probably in a suit. Like, briefcase, probably, in the office. He's not holding any coffee, I don't think. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I'm not taking cases right now. But you are Phoenix Wright, right? The undefeated defense attorney? Look, I'm not accepting any new cases. I'm sorry, but you'll have to try elsewhere. Please! I'm out of time. But... please, you have to help. It's my sister. Oh no, sisters. It's gonna pull at his heartstrings. Hi, kitty cat. Maya? Could it be? Oh, and they even gave her a little bun, too. Okay, I'll hear you out. Really? Thank you so much. My name's Emma. Emma Sky. I'm a scientific investigator. What does that mean? Scientific investigator? Oh, I know, like, that's what's so sad. It's like, Phoenix, you can't just not work. It's... Well, I get it. Like, give yourself some time to be sad, but you gotta pick yourself up sometimes. Life is hard. Alright. Let's talk. Emma. Emma, was it? So you're a scientific investigator? Yes, that's right. Is something wrong? No, it's just you seem kind of a jumpy. Or maybe just young? Young? I'll be 16 years old this year. That is young, but this is anime, so you're already a full-fledged adult by the time you're 16. Oh, I see. Wait, only 16? I'm set to be formally assigned to forensics in 3 more years. My work is becoming quite well known, at my age no less. So what exactly is your current position then? Well, legally speaking, I guess you'd call me an 11th grader. Yeah. Someone just starting the 11th grade in the US. I know, like, write Maya letters. Like, what's her name? The girl from the Steel Samurai set. She writes letters to Maya. They trade cards still. But I'm ready to do my job, at my age no less. Great. Another future professional in training. Phoenix! A future professional in training. That's what you call students, Phoenix. Alright, the case. So what's this about a case? You said the trial's tomorrow? My sister didn't do it. She wouldn't stab someone with a knife. She wouldn't. So it's a murder case. I don't care if there's a witness who saw her do it. She didn't do it. I know she didn't do it. It's a scientific fact. No, it's not. And there's a witness. You mean go home and study, right? Just talk to her. You have to talk to her. Right. I suppose I will. I promised her I'd bring Mia Fey, but... That's interesting. How would she know Mia? And Mia's been gone for a while. Like, you'd think that people in the, like, criminal justice system would know that Mia had passed away. Alright, scientific investigator. So you want to be a scientific investigator when you grow up, then? Excuse me? I'm not a child, I'll have you know. That's what every 16-year-old thinks. Still, it's good to have a goal, albeit a very unusual one. I believe investigations should be done scientifically. What does it even mean? Because you got forensics, you got crime scene investigation, like, you got autopsies, you got medicine, you got ballistics. Most investigations are done pretty scientifically. Don't you? Yeah. Sure can't fault her for a lack of enthusiasm. If this case is handled scientifically, I'm sure my sister's name will be cleared. Your sister? I've been doing research, you know. I'm developing a new scientific method of case investigation. I'll show you when I'm done. I'm looking forward to it. Guess I should get down to the detention center and talk to her sister. Alright, the relation to Mia. My sister asked for a Mia specifically. This Mia Fey person was a few years below her in school. So they went to the same school, huh? All of the above. But it's like that people already do that. Like, it's not like people just go out on a whim with investigations. Like, you have to just say you want to be a forensic scientist. There's nothing wrong with that. She always told me to go to Mia if I ever needed a defense attorney. And well, I need one. Incidentally, Mia is a woman. There you go, Phoenix. We finally got to the root of the issue. Now that you mention it, I guess it is more of a woman's name than a man's. I wonder what Mia's name is in Japanese. Because there are some gender-neutral names in Japanese. One sec. Let me take a look at this. Oh, Chihiro. Chihiro, is that a... Because I know Chihiro was also the name of the girl in Spirited Away. Oh, Chihiro is a girl's name. Meaning 1,000 questions, apparently. Chihiro, yeah. Because I know, like, Akira is neutral, or, Makoto can be gender neutral. Interesting. Alright. Mia, though, in English, 100% a woman's name. Well, it is nice of you to help your sister out like this. You must be close. Well, actually, when she gets like she is now, I kind of hate her. Huh? But she's my only family. Your only family? What about your parents? Can be. There's a boy called Chihiro Mayuzumi. Oh, okay. So Chihiro can be a boy's name. What's can be? I'm so sorry. If Amanda was here, she'd 100% get what that is. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. They died in a car accident when I was little. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so that site must have said Chihiro was a girl's name because of Spirited Away, because Spirited Away was such a huge movie. All right. Let's go to the detention center. February 22nd, detention center, visitors room. I just realized February 22nd, that's 2/22/2022. At least where we are right now. I think this takes place in what we determined, 2016? Kuroko's basketball. Oh, I'm gonna have to look into that game. Thank you for not. Thank you for reassuring me. Okay, is that like a? Is that an anime or is that a game? If it's an anime, I'm gonna feel really silly for not knowing that. I wonder what's wrong with Emma. She got quiet all of a sudden as soon as we arrived. Okay, this is probably the sister. Guard, I thought I told you I didn't want visitors. Sorry, ma'am. It's just your sister. No excuses. Or did you not want to raise this here, Understood, ma'am. Whoa, what was that all about? Oh, a sports anime. I like sports anime. You know what I like? Actually, I got my shirt over there. I laid out my shirt to go swimming tomorrow. I really like Free. It's a swimming anime, because I'm a swimmer. Free's a ton of fun. The English dub has a bunch of voiceover actors that I'm a big fan of. Ooh. Hi, Lana. Okay. She's got stuff on her, like military level pads on her shoulders. So I think I need to give her like a huskier, deeper, more authoritative voice. Like, what's her name? Elizabeth Holmes? Like the fake Elizabeth Holmes voice. Funny. I seem to remember specifically telling you not to come here. Perhaps my memory is failing. Look. I didn't want to come here either, okay? But your trial's tomorrow and you still don't have a defense attorney. I'll be the one in court tomorrow. This has nothing to do with you, Emma. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Hey, how do you know me? Mia mentioned you. I've heard quite a bit. I'm sorry. What exactly is it that you do? Yeah, I love Free a lot. It's so much fun. I like to watch Free if I'm working out and I can have like my TV, or I don't have a TV, but I have an iPad, like while I'm riding my bike indoors, or One Punch Man is the other one that I like to watch while working out if I'm in the gym, like on the treadmill. My name is Lana Sky. I'm chief prosecutor for this district. Why are you dressed in like military regalia though? Or military-esque. Or maybe law enforcement-esque as well. Kind of attire if you're a prosecutor. I don't know about other countries, but prosecutors don't actually like control the police department. Like they don't determine salaries or anything. Like I know that Fawn Karma and this lady now have all mentioned like talking to detectives and police officers about their salaries, and that doesn't happen in the States. That's not a thing. You're a prosecutor? Two sisters, one a lawyer. Could this be a coincidence? Emma, Lana. I mean, they're just like... Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Alright, let's talk to this lady. Oh, yes. Costume design. I can never do costume design. That's too, like, I don't know, subliminal in messaging. But I guess that's interesting, or, I saw something about, like, the Theranos movie they were making, and, the costume designer said she intentionally bought clothes that would not fit Amanda Seyfried, or that they didn't quite fit her quite right. But made sure that she bought them from brands like J. Crew and Banana Republic, but they were just poorly fitting so that she seemed kind of uncomfortable and out of place. And it's like, okay, I get that that's your job and that you work in fashion and that's what you pay for, but it's also making me like overthink what I wear. Like, okay, here I am with like a giraffe on my shirt because I did a 5K at a zoo. What are you gleaning from me? All right, the case. There's something you should know from the start. Which is? The suspect in this case has confessed to the crime. Huh? Well, wait, but the suspect is... Me. I did it. Well, Mr. Wright? Well, why don't you begin by telling me exactly what happened? The crime took place yesterday, February 21st, at 5:15 p.m. That's quite specific. It was in the witness's deposition. A witness clearly saw me committing the crime. That was a bit of bad luck, wasn't it? The crime took place in the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Usually they don't say prosecutor, they say, like, it's the district attorney's office. Excuse me. The body was found in the trunk of my subordinate's car. Prosecutor's office, huh? In your subordinate's car's trunk? Classy. I was arrested on the spot, caught red-handed, as it were. Well, that's just great. Who was the victim? So who was the victim? An investigator with the police department. Not Gumshoe! I suppose the correct term is detective. Not Gumshoe! A detective? Death was due to a loss of blood. He was stabbed once in the stomach. By you? Death wasn't immediate, but the wound was fatal. I see. Allow me to repeat myself, Mr. Wright. The victim was a detective. You know what that means, don't you? Uh-oh. What, Mr. Wright? What does it mean? Well, it means... the police department will consider it a matter of pride to have me found guilty. I suppose they're trying to make it seem like this police department in particular will try to... I don't know. Really try and find her guilty. But that's so interesting because Edgeworth... yeah, it's everywhere. No matter where you go. It's... and again, not to get political or anything, but it's good and bad everywhere. But it's true, at least in America. And like from what you're saying, in other parts of the world as well, it's like some groups are just going to be really incredibly loyal to each other, and that can kind of blindside you sometimes. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. Like, no matter what, when it comes to like my friends and stuff or my coworkers. But this is interesting because she's the chief prosecutor, and Edgeworth is a prosecutor, and they're so loyal to Edgeworth too. Like Gumshoe basically considered Edgeworth one of them, but she's not one of them. So it's like, why they're... I don't know, that attitude is so interesting that it's like they considered Edgeworth part of the group. So why wouldn't her killing another cop be considered like more infighting, I guess. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but anyway. This case gets worse and worse with everything I learn. Alright, let's learn about Lana. So you're the chief prosecutor. That is correct. I'm responsible for overseeing every trial handled by prosecutors in this district. I make sure the prosecutors have what they need to do the job and manage every aspect. Those are my responsibilities in a nutshell. That's an awfully large nutshell. Still, I am a little surprised. I would think you'd recognize the district's chief prosecutor, Mr. Wright. Huh? In fact, it seems impossible you wouldn't. What's wrong with her hand? Lana? Oh, here we go. What happened to your hand? Oh, this? I cut myself by accident when I stabbed him, that is. Huh? I'm not very good at being a criminal, I suppose. How am I supposed to defend this? Time to change the subject. Wait, she was in the class ahead of Mia, wasn't she? Relation to Mia. So you were in school with Mia, correct? Gumshoe considered Edgeworth... Oh, I see what you're saying. It's just Gumshoe had the close relationship to Edgeworth. So if they don't have a close relationship to her, nobody else really has a close relationship with this lady, then yeah. A few years above her? Ema told you that too, did she? Well, why not? I did drag him all the way here from his office. Although it seems he has very little in common with Mia. Hey! How do you know? You just met the guy! It was in law school. I was in my 3rd year, and she was auditing the class. She was different than the other students. Different? She was strong. She'd do anything to become a defense attorney. Anything. Ooh. That was probably why she was attracted to me. Ooh! I know! Excuse me? Intellectually attracted. Lana was top of her class in school. My throat's really dry. Sorry if my voice is weird. If you do say so yourself. The Slaying Sisters. Exactly. I was the best there was. Oh. I'm doing pretty good in school too, by the way. It sounds a bit different when Emma says it. Well, Mr. Wright? Excuse me? As you can plainly see, I'm admitting my guilt. I think it's safe to say there's no way you can take this case. None. But Lana? Oh yeah, I got my water. But I'm almost out of it, so I'm gonna have to top it off pretty soon. Why? Why are you doing this to me? You never think of anyone but yourself. That is the thing. I don't know what she's doing. There's some reason she's so adamant to admit that she killed somebody. But it's like, if she's doing that for some other reason, it's like, you can't be selfish in leaving somebody, like leaving family especially alone. I know you didn't do it, Lana, I know. So how can you say that you did? If I lose you, I'll be all alone. I hate you, Lana. Oh no. Oh damn, the sister's cold. Just turned right around, just turned her back on her crying 16-year-old sister. Oh man, Lana. Not only do you owe them to try and prove your innocence, but it's like, you don't know what... You can't be selfish with your own actions. Like, if you go away, you don't know... Like, there's so many people that, like, love us and rely on us. More people than we realize. So it's like, you may be selfish and just thinking about yourself and how this decision will just affect you. Thank you. Like, you can be thinking about how this decision will just affect you, but you can't do that. You have to think about if you're making a major call like this, of saying like, hey, I'll admit that I committed murder so I can go to prison for the rest of my life. You got to think about how that's going to affect other people too. Especially if you have a teenage sister, an underage sister, and no parents. What's going to happen to her? Mr. Wright? Yes? I believe our discussion here is ended. The rest, I leave to you. You mean you're requesting my services as your defense? Don't lose any sleep over it. Your client has confessed after all. The case is over. Right. I'll do what I can to get to the bottom of this. I mean, people can still plead guilty. It doesn't mean you don't need a defense attorney. Lana has confessed to the crime, yes. But something doesn't fit. It's that look in Emma's eyes. There's something else going on here. And I'm going to find out what. Exactly. Right, exactly. Like, A, this is a video game, and we have yet to lose a case. B, Phoenix Wright, even though he's been going through a depression right now, is the... Almost. Well, I was going to say he's the unshakable optimist, but he's definitely lost his faith a few times. But if he believes you're innocent, he'll do whatever he can to get to the bottom of it. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. Huh? About what? My sister. She's not always like that, you know? I just never expected to be defending another prosecutor again. She's changed a lot. She used to be so gentle, always smiling. Everybody liked her. I see. Sorry, but I'm having trouble imagining that. What happened to her? I don't know for certain myself. I think maybe she... Well, maybe not. Sounds like there's something there that defies a simple scientific explanation. Let's go check out this underground parking at the prosecutor's office, shall we? See, in American English, we would say underground parking lot. Amanda started calling places like that car parks. Ugh. Ugh. British jargon nonsense. Oh, is this new music? This sounds like a new theme song. Okay. All right. Let's go. Here we go. Underground parking lot. Let's take a look. That looks like an exit. A phone. A little... Excuse me. Maybe a hose over here. Some chemical bins. I don't know what that is. And a little console and something on the ground. Oh, you don't think it's new? Okay. February 22nd, prosecutor's office, underground parking lot. So this is the lot where it all happened. Looks like they're still investigating. Funny that my first visit to the prosecutor's office should be like this. Hey everyone, keep up the good work! Hey, what are you thinking? Well, they are going to be my coworkers in 3 years from now, after all. Wow. No harm in saying hello. Well, that's a nice attitude. Actually, there is. You know attorneys aren't supposed to examine crime scenes? Now you're saying that, Phoenix? Now you're saying her attorneys are not supposed to examine crime scenes. You have been examining every crime scene. Phoenix! I'm trying not to stand out here too much, see? I know! It's kind of cute. It's very sweet being like, I know I'm on the opposite side of what you're trying to do right now, or I have interests that are like on the other side of this, but I'm gonna try and reach out and be your friend. Hey there. You expecting to go unnoticed here, partner? That's okay. Somebody sounds southern. But partner? I don't know who this character is, but I like him already. Let's see, we got the cowboy hat and the poncho. Straight from New Mexico. Here. And they got the cowboys and Indians, like, Western slash, yeah, like Western themed music. All right. What do we have here? Looks like a bambina got loose from the ranch and is up to no good. Folks gotta learn to keep them doggies tied down, partner. Mr. Marshall! Oh, she knows him! Why are you shaving yourself without a mirror and a knife? Marshall looks more like a sheriff to me. Look here, Bambina. I know how you feel. How culturally appropriate do I feel? You know, it's so funny. I studied abroad in Spain, and we were talking about, like, kind of myths that some cultures have about, like, what, like, how they picture their past. Like, this was, like, an Arabic language class and, like, an Arab history, like, literature class. And so the professor was talking about how they kind of romanticize, like, there tends to be a romanticization of, like, the Bedouins there, and he was like, but there's romanticizations in every culture. Like, for example, what do you think of when you think of an American? And the kid sitting behind me said, you think of a guy in a military suit. And my professor said, no, you think of a cowboy. It's like, yeah, I guess we romanticize cowboys a lot. I think it's funny. But this my gang's gold strike, you see. I'm like flipping between like Matthew McConaughey and something else. I'm like, or no, I'm trying to go for like a ranch or like old cowboy movie guy, but I feel like I'm coming off as Matthew McConaughey. Strike? This is our claim, our territory, with a motherload of evidence. If you're fixing to mess with what's ours, you'll regret it, partner. You know what dreams the cacti out in the desert dream? You want to? I don't know what that means. What's this guy talking about? Oh, they even gave him a flask. Nice. You head along home now. Happy trails, Bambina. Was that a ombre, a friend of yours? The funny thing is Bambina is Italian. I always thought of cowboys and aliens as a child. Also alien abductions. Alien abductions of the US? Okay, so funnily enough, Roswell, New Mexico is like has the most famous alleged UFO crash site. And New Mexico was a really big cowboy territory here in the US. And it used to be, obviously, like, hence the name, it used to be part of Mexico. So there was some clashing between white Americans, Native Americans, Spanish, whole bunch in that area. And then in New Mexico, in Roswell, of course, the famous UFO crash. Or the lights. Was that in Albuquerque, too? Albuquerque's in New Mexico as well. No, Phoenix. The Phoenix lights. Phoenix, Arizona. Same region of the world as New Mexico. Phoenix, Arizona had this similar phenomenon. Not a similar phenomenon, but a similar alleged UFO sighting called the Phoenix Lights. Overseen by like thousands and thousands of people in Phoenix, Arizona back in the day. So, lots of alleged UFO sightings down there. Kind of, sort of. Yeah, he's a detective who thinks he's a sheriff from the Wild West, it seems. Well, we're not gonna skedaddle. We're gonna examine this. What's this, a wallet? Excuse me, officer? Oh, wait! What are you doing, Mr. Wright? What am I doing? I just found this wallet, so I'm handing it over to the police. I don't believe it. This is real basic. Anything at a crime scene is evidence. Let's be scientific about this, please. Just put it in your pocket. With your fingerprints on it. Without looking at the rest of the scene. Just put it in your pocket. How is that scientific? Sounds like theft to me. Okay, wallet. A foldable wallet found at the crime scene. There seems to be something inside. I'm called to duty already. And at my tender age... Here, I'll teach you the trick to examining evidence in detail, okay? Oh, a lot of X-Files, yeah. Yeah, X-Files is pretty big. No, it's interesting, like, what, the stuff that we make in the U.S., because Hollywood is such a major player in the global movie market. Like, what people take away from Hollywood movies, because not all of it's true. Like, not just Hollywood movies, but TV shows and stuff. Not all of it's, like, realistic. By the way her eyes are sparkling, I can tell she's been waiting for this. Okay, now. Look at the court record. Okay. I did not do that. You have to be sure to examine evidence carefully on all sides. Now, let's start examining from every angle. Oh! HNBM. Okay. Wait. Ooh. Okay, one sec. There's something inside. Oh! Oh, look! I think there might be a clue here. You should check it out with a press of enter. What a character. Look at that big. What's that thing? What's that big tie called? A cravat? Is that what that is? I'm gonna have like my white trans. Yeah, cravat. A cravat. Like the polka dot cravat and then the little soul patch. He looks like he just went to shopping at a Goodwill. And got a conglomeration of different styles to get this outfit together. Okay, here we go. Is this our victim then? So it's not Gumshoe. Okay. Sergeant Bruce Goodman, ID number 5842189. See? Well, isn't scientific investigation useful? You just opened a wallet. I guess, though I don't see what science has to do with it. Oh, thrift shop. Yeah, just get a fur coat on top of the cravat. I'm gonna pop some tags. I really don't want to get copyright struck. Okay. Goodman's ID. Let's be sure to examine every piece of evidence we find. I guess I've got to be on my toes from now on. Okay. He got killed by the fashion police. That's what came by, the well-dressed chief prosecutor with her flowing scarf and her uniform was like, this is just unacceptable. We cannot have a serious member of the police force looking like this. Whoops. Okay. Ooh, this store is a clue. This is where the cars leave the lot. The arrow on the ground makes it look more like an entrance. What are you talking about? It's plainly an exit. Well, maybe it's both. Kind of a dual purpose. Aha! The theory of relativity. Is that what the theory of relativity is? What? I've got to write this down. Ah, hey, Mr. Wright. Maybe, you know, was Mr. Relativity German or was he British? Mr. Relativity? Are you sure that was his name? Okay, yeah, the arrow on the ground. This is the... yeah. That's an entrance. I don't know what that thing is. Okay, this is an... Look, a door! This must mean something, Emma. You're young. I'm not sure that doors mean anything. No, it won't open. A mysterious lock. I appreciate her enthusiasm so much. I fail to see what's mysterious about it. Mr. Wright, you need to learn to enjoy life more. Let's finish our investigation first, shall we? Look, I'm all for finding joy in the little things. Here, a phone. Let's see if it works. Hey, don't touch stuff we don't need to be touching. I can't hear anything. My ears. No, my ears. Maybe it's due to the barometric pressure. What is she babbling about? So did she put the phone to her ears and then it did something to her eardrum? Hey, what did you just say? See, you can hear just fine. The phone's broken. Oh, the phone's broken. Okay. Oil drum. Looks like it's filled with water. It's heavy. I can't even budge it. The drum over here is on its side. Wait, I know. I'll hide it here and do a stakeout. Why though? I think you'll probably just get arrested. In fact, you may not even have to hide in the drum to get arrested. Oh, Phoenix. Thanks for your faith. What? I'm not suspicious. Yeah, but if you're trespassing... Okay. Ooh, the ladder. Aha! A ladder. That's a step ladder. What's the difference? In scientific terms, please. Scientific, huh? Oh, Emma. Look at the basic nature of things, Mr. Wright. And basically, it's a ladder. This all seems so horribly familiar somehow. Oh, okay, up here. Look, a stylish glass-walled room. Very nice. You can see the whole parking lot from in there. It says security. Perhaps it's a cafe. Oh, Emma. Oh, Emma. Cafe security. Must be it. Emma. I hate to break it to you, but I think that's probably just a security guard office. You know, I scored a 97 on my science test the other day. I'm sorry, Emma, but there's academics, intelligence, and street smarts and common sense. Too bad they don't have a test for common sense. I'm sorry. Okay. Anything else? Oh! Okay, no. No clues here. That I should be... Oh, this thing. This wall is in our way. It's got a faucet for water. Wait, I know. This wall is merely a facade, hiding the truth. This is no wall, but a water tank. A water tank? I know. It's like... I don't know. Sometimes it can be funny, but sometimes it's painful. I fail to see how it makes any difference either way. A water tank? Okay, that's nothing. That's nothing. Lights. I already looked at the arrow. Door we already looked at. Ladder already looked at. Phone already looked at. Alright, do we think we're done? Let's look at the record. I know! It's like, Okay. Oh wait, no, we can slide over. Okay, cute, perfect. Here we go. Oh, look at, that is not how you outline the body. just like fling like a limp like outline of tape. Yeah, we moved the screen. Thanks. Okay. How does this parking lot work? Do they just put them in this rack and then the elevator takes them? Interesting. Well, no time to waste. Let's get hunting for clues. I wonder what this is. Ooh. Well, partner, looks like you've got no intention of going home quietly. The sheriff! Like I said before, this here's our claim. You'd best be moseying along, unless you're fixing to bite the bullet. God, scary. Could you tell us just one thing? Who owns that car?
Well, that little filly's got a good nose on her. You want to know who rides that red Mustang with the body in her saddle, eh?
Please?
No problem, partner. About time for victuals, anyway.
Let me ask you something weird, Vampire, as a non-native English speaker, or maybe they speak enough English in Switzerland for you to get this. If somebody read this sentence to you or said this to you, would you have understood what they meant the first time you heard it? Because there are a lot of people who don't even know what the word vittles is in America.
Get yourself up to the saloon up on the 12th floor of the prospector's office. Might just find you a cerveza you like.
Cerveza. They misspelled cerveza. Prospector's office? Where does this guy think he is? And when, for that matter? Exactly. There we go. Vittles is like food. Like, let me see if it's like time for vittles means like you're eating food. Note to self, look up vittle. Maybe we should check out room 1202. The High Prosecutor's office. Is it High Prosecutor or Chief Prosecutor?
In any case, stay away from the car. You can look around here all you like. Just keep your paws off our claim.
Right, great. Great! Maybe there's some clues around here, Mr. Wright. Let's check it out.
Excuse me. Were you two all set?
Us? Oh, that was not the sheriff talking. What's this? Partner's just yeah. It's the pronunciation. Like partner. Partner instead of partner. That's all it is. She couldn't be. You're selling lunches? Here? This is a crime scene. Hello, half and half, was it? Oh, thanks. And you, sir? Yes? Some crunchy goodness coming at you. Thanks. Interesting way of doing business. This area is off limits to anyone without clearance. Especially passersby. Where are you officers? Why would you have a clearance? You're selling lunch.
Could you try again?
Oh. Uh-oh. That was my Siri. I don't know what Siri picked up on. I know, it's like, you need a clearance. Why are you, like, on the case of two people who are actually, like, working on the case, but you're selling lunch? Yeah. No, but you don't exactly look like the type to have a clearance. Well, that's hardly a way to greet someone. Even if my days as the cough-up queen are over. Cough-up, huh? You know, I'm feeling kind of full. Maybe I'll pass on lunch. I don't think that's good if you're... Thank you. You're selling food, but you're calling yourself the cough-up queen. It's not a good look. Not a good look. Oh, Amanda will not be joining us. She'll be too late. I'm quite connected to this case, you see. The images are burned into my eyes, you might say. Yes, all the sordid secrets. Secrets? Dear me, you are a slow one, aren't you? Ooh, she got evil. I'm referring to the murder, the stabbing of that detective. What? A witness clearly saw me committing the crime. You mean you're the witness my sister was talking about? You witnessed a murder and you're going to take this opportunity to stick around and sell lunch. That's not okay. And if you took a deposition, you wouldn't be... And it wouldn't be a deposition, it would have been a witness statement. Depositions are done by attorneys, but anyway. Please, cough up queen, tell us what happened. The name is Angel Star. Don't you go forgetting it. Or before you know it, I'll have you whimpering at my heels. Ooh. Yes, ma'am. Yipes, she means it. Ah. The case. Somehow, I knew. Yesterday was a day of destiny. I knew something was going to happen. Just like I know the daily special on Friday every week is salmon. Destiny. Was yesterday special for some reason? You're a defense attorney, right? You should know then. You should know the foul misdeeds of the evil ones who haunt this den of inequity. So this might be what you were... There's some hostility towards the prosecutor's office. Well, I mean, okay. Now that I've said that, how many prosecutors have we had that have been accused of forging evidence? Prosecutors, they have no qualms at all about blackening the name of innocence. And yesterday they paid homage to the most evil one of all. They gave an award for King of Prosecutors. What a farce. King of Prosecutors. So she's saying there was some sort of prosecutors convention yesterday? I was almost compelled to... Miss out queen. That would mean something so... Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Lace their lunches with something foul. Do you have a personal grievance against prosecutors or something? Or is this some kind of scientific evidence of this, evil? Young miss, mock me at your own risk. Oh, you'll soon find out why they call me the cough-up queen. Ew. There... The most heinous of all the evil ones, the one they awarded yesterday. It was in his car that they found the body. Is it Edgeworth's car? Proof that he devours the evilest lunches of all. Really? Really what? I'm totally confused. One thing's clear, this lunch lady has a thing against prosecutors. Outspoken. Oh no. Outspoken. Sorry, that sounds really funny in English. Outspoken. That's really funny. Alright, what did she witness? So, what exactly was it that you witnessed, Ms. Starr? It was a fascinating spectacle, to be sure. I now feel I know what they say when they talk about a woman's wrath. To see Lana Skye wield that knife so... Her knife flashed in anger, bringing him to a sad end. It was truly a sight to see. You mean you saw the very moment of the crime? The sound of his the sound of his silvery ties to this world being cruelly cut still rings in my ears. Wow. And the rhythmic beat of Lana Sky's knife. She's kind of a creep about it, isn't she? Wait a second, you know Lana Sky? Of course. It's quite a feat, becoming chief prosecutor. How many lunchboxes of sin did she pack to make that journey, I wonder? She always travels light. Now, why would this pretty lunch lady know the chief prosecutor's name? Angel. Could we ask you a bit about yourself, Miss Star? I come here every day to sell lunches. I import only the freshest and best from the Far East. For some reason, the box lunches are a hit here. Oh, I know why. It's because lawyers are always working. They never have time to make their own lunches, so they usually go out and... Why not make the lunches here rather than import them? Did you say something? No. Only true connoisseurs can understand. The kind you can only tell someone who has tried General Tso's Trilobite lunch set. There you go. Exactly. Still selling in the face of a murder. She's not shooketh. Never mind, you win. I don't even want to appreciate part of a Trilobite's flavor. Anyway, I come here every day to sell lunches. My boyfriend works in the security room here at the prosecutor's office. Your boyfriend? See the security room over there? The glass-walled booth? Yeah, that's true. Gotta take advantage of all the cops who are working too. I sell my lunch. And what's his face? The sheriff was talking about how it's almost time for vittles. Here she is, the vittles lady with the sushi hat. I sell my lunches, and since I'm here anyway, I drop in to see him. Since you're here anyway, I guess selling lunches is more important than romance. Hey, we all gotta work, Phoenix. Oh, Emma. So to scientifically analyze the data available so far, you, Miss Star, are a lunch vendor with an ulterior motive for coming here. Useful analysis. Not. I'm sorry, but... Alright, the prosecutor's office. Did you have a bad experience with a prosecutor, Miss Star? I sense some hostility. Hostility? Perhaps. Prosecutors are all alike, and the bigger they get, the worse they smell. Kind of like 10-day-old clams in the chowder. Ugh. I wonder if Miss Star was involved in some sort of legal trouble in the past. She must have been, otherwise why would she feel so strongly about all prosecutors ever? That'd be a sure cause of food poisoning, scientifically speaking, of course. I mean, now you're talking cough-up queen. I thought she was just a lunch vendor, but now I'm not so sure. Why would she... Yeah, like, why is she so proud of being called the cough-up queen? Hey! Happy Mother's Day to you, Yosio! Alright. So we don't have much to say left to her. Yeah, we can go up to the 12th floor now. Oh! I think I know whose office this is. February 22nd, High Prosecutor's Office, room in 1202. This is the kind of room that just screams, I can do the job. Quite a change from your office, really. Thanks. Do the flowers in the back, are those supposed to, like, mirror the suit? Like, with the ruffles and the pink? Like, does someone decorate these flowers? Because I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is Edgeworth's office. Not least because... Not least because there's a steel samurai. Oh, it's broken. Look, there's a trophy or something here. A trophy? What, that shield? It takes real nerve to display stuff like this. Whoever's office this is, they must be a real stuck-up jerk. It's gotta be Edgeworth. It has to be Edgeworth. I'm gonna...
Phoenix Wright. You never tire of prying into other people's business, do you?
Oh, maybe it is Karma. But Von Karma's in prison. That voice. Ah! Long time no see, Edgeworth. Huh? Ah! Mr. Edgeworth. You know him from somewhere? Of course. I'm his biggest fan. You were the one who thought he murdered someone. My sister introduced us once and... Right. Her sister is the chief prosecutor, after all.
Well, what brings you here? I'll warn you.
He just hung up Karma's suit because he couldn't hang Karma.
I'll warn you. I've been known to be a real stuck-up jerk.
No, did I? No. It's just... Mr. Right here, he... Hey, don't blame me. We're just here to investigate a murder case.
Murder?
A body was found in this nasty... It's gotta be Edgeworth's car, then. The nasty bright red sports car.
That would be my car. What of it?
What? Your car?
I'll say one thing. She certainly can scream.
Let's examine the office. Wow, this jacket is even lacier than his usual ones. This must be his lucky trial jacket.
Lucky jacket, right. I've never seen him wear it.
I'm sure there's a story behind why it's in a frame. Maybe I'll be naughty and take a picture.
She is getting way too excited about this.
I've been wondering, what the heck is this? I think you're probably right. You're right. I don't think we've seen him smile. That little bashful side smile that we all love from Edgy. It has a big K on it.
Prosecutors.
Huh? What's that?
It's the King of Prosecutors trophy.
Oh, that's a bad animation. King of Prosecutors? I don't think it's UK Mother's Day, but it's Mother's Day here in the United States. Here in DC. We sent our mother, or I sent our mom and grandma flowers. Amanda sent them a gift as well. Not sure what she sent them, but tell your mom or moms or whomever, grandparents, aunts, mother figures, you love them today.
It's a great honor. They send that shield to the best prosecutor each year. Or what? So?
So that K, Yeah, Mother's Day in Chile, but not in Argentina. Okay. Still tell your mom you love her. That's... K stands for king?
Yeah, you got a problem with... Oh, Edgeworth is getting nasty.
Or he's defensive.
Yeah, you got a problem with that? I didn't design the thing.
King of prosecutors. Kind of like employee of the month, only better. King of prosecutors given to Edgeworth. King of prosecutors at the PD on the day of the murder. PD, what is that for? Because I thought this was prosecutor's office, not police department. My, what an amazing bouquet. Just right for Mr. Edgeworth. No kidding. Hey, there's a card on it. Back from the dead. Wendy! Back from the dead, Wendy. Wendy. I've heard that name somewhere before. And beside it, a giant steel samurai. Wow, I want one. Huh? There's something written on the bottom of his foot. Between a rock and a hard place. Oh, the one lady who's crazier about Edgeworth. The biggest Edgeworth fangirl. Wendy? Is she Mr. Edgeworth's fiance? I don't think so. Ooh, tea set. Ooh, cute. What a pretty tea set. I go more for the instant tea bags myself. Same here. Amazing. The drawer below is filled with packets of tea leaves. They're all sorted by place of origin and flavor. Look at this royal blend. What an exquisitely splendid concoction. There's such a thing as taking a hobby too far. And Edgeworth's is tea, clearly. He needs the caffeine. Yeah, exactly, weird vampire. Oh, and he has a quill on his desk. You can never have enough tea bags. I have too many. I don't drink enough tea to justify the varieties that I have. A work desk. It's quite tidy, as one might expect. What a nice desk. Easy to use and easy on the eyes. It's polished so well I can see my own reflection. Strange. Yeah, why did you just think of Detective Gumshoe? Does Gumshoe polish the desk? Don't make Gumshoe be that much of a simp. Maybe I'll take that name plaque as a souvenir. No, Emma. Don't. He'll sue you. He won't sue you. He'll file charges. Okay. Oh, the couch. Mr. Edgeworth has such a comfy sofa. Sofas like this make me want to curl up and take a nap. Yeah. I bet he pores over his case files here until the wee hours of the morning. Emma, where are you going? Then he takes off his jacket, rolls up his sleeves. Where are you going with this? And goes to sleep using his arms as a pillow. Why are you picturing... this is kind of creepy. There you go. I don't believe it. She's actually daydreaming about Edgeworth working. I bet in the morning, he has sofa hair and little creases in his cheek from the sink. Emma, this is odd. Stop it. Stop it. You're 16. Don't do this now. He's so cool. Sofa hair is cool? Oh, she's... everybody... Okay, what could I expect, though? I shouldn't be so hard on her. What can I expect? We all fangirl over Edgeworth. All of us. Whoa, these are all case files? They're stacked up to the ceiling. There's even a ladder. Odd. I thought Edgeworth wasn't good with heights. He must have someone get them for him. Also catch up with Bloodlines. Oh, thank you. Seal, yo, Seal. Thanks for stopping by.
Gumshoe! No! Why did I just picture... Oh, Gumshoe! Oh, that's... Gumshoe... He just really cares about Edgeworth.
He must study these case reports so closely. He's so cool. You wouldn't say that if you saw him sweating bullets up on that ladder. In that jacket, and he'd be sweating real hard in that jacket. Hey, a chessboard. I'm not too up on my chest, but it looks like blue's in a bit of a tight spot. The red knights have surrounded the blue pawn. Huh? Those horses are mounted knights. Their swords have really sharp edges. And check out that poor pawn. His head is kind of spiky. Kind of reminds me of you. Is that like... Is this... Okay, because Edgeworth wears pink, Phoenix wears blue. Is this like some sort of symbolic way that Edgeworth is taking out his frustration over losing cases? Oh, sorry. I got an alert on my phone. Wanted to see if it was Amanda. Mr. Edgeworth must be an amazing chess player. What's wrong, Mr. Wright? Here we go. We were right. Hedges surrounding a pawn with spiky hair? Nah, it's nothing. Alright. The desk. Oh, the window. Here we go. Whoa! What a view! It must be nice to have an office on the 12th floor. I guess you would feel important. Incidentally, were you to jump out this window, the time until impact with the ground would be... .23 seconds. Okay, Emma. That's handy to know. Alright, anything else we can look at? Nope, okay. Let's talk to Edgeworth. The case. So the body was found in your car?
Go ahead, say it right. You think I did it, don't you?
Or does the case again, like replays the case. Cases over in his case is like,
if I only done this, I would have had you right. After all, you went through all that trouble to help me last year, no less.
You're right, this is a new animation. No, we don't think you did it. I mean, it was my sister who stabbed him. Oh, wait, no, she didn't do that. I mean...
Wait. So you're the chief prosecutor's little sister, then?
Yes, sir. Emma Sky. It's nice to meet you again.
Now that didn't sound forced at all. Oh, now I remember. You've really grown. I'll admit, it was a surprise for me, too. To think that my own car would become the scene of a murder. More surprising still.
Yeah, how'd they get the trunk open?
More surprising still, I'm being forced to prove my superior's guilt.
I can understand. Wait, what? What did you say?
Lana Skye is the chief prosecutor, the top prosecutor in the district. She can't prosecute herself, so I'll be the prosecutor at the trial tomorrow.
You? Mr. Edgeworth? Alright, I'm scared of losing my voice today, so I'm going to finish talking to Edgeworth, and then I think I'm going to call it, end the stream.
To be honest, it's a bit of a miracle I'm still here at all.
What do you mean?
Rumors. You've heard the rumors about me, haven't you?
Miles Edgeworth. It's hard to remember a time when there weren't rumors about this guy. Forging evidence, arranging false testimony, illegal searches, you name it. Absolutely not! Nick is your husband. Husbando, your boyfriend. We ship you all together all the time. You can't say that you're the love of your life, because let's be real here. They both stay single. It's like there's got to be some care there. Thanks to you, my innocence was established in the trial at the end of last year. However, there's still some who say I'm the one responsible for the current incidents. What? That's crazy. I mean, it's his car, but you can't jump to that conclusion. Some people need very little excuse to think ill of others. That's true. That's very true. It's a fact of life. Impossible to stop. But some of them even go so far as to present me with toys like this. They think it's funny. Toys? That bronze shield? There's gotta be a story behind that one. Oh, so is this mocking him? Is it not an honor? Is it mocking him? Lana. Chief Prosecutor Skye? Yes, we first worked together on a case 2 years ago. I know. It was my first big case. That's right, I remember. 2 years ago. I wasn't even a lawyer yet. Since then, I always felt that she was looking out for me. It appears I was mistaken. Mistaken? Why? I mean, I know she's not the warmest person. But I'm sure she felt some responsibility for you. Then why? Why did she stab someone in the trunk of my car? Not only that, she stabbed him with my knife. It's pink to match him! What? Mr. Edgeworth, your knife was the murder weapon? To be specific, it was the knife I keep in the toolbox in the trunk of my car. So someone got the trunk open. He was in the car and they stabbed him with the... How did that work? How did that murder work? He was... Somehow was the... Because somebody would have had to have broken open the car. Oh, I don't mind the idea of him having a knife. Like, there's a lot of useful reasons you would need a knife. Even if your car crashes. Probably not a knife like that, but some kind of knife and a bunch of other tools. But, like, if the murderer pulled the knife from the toolbox, I don't know. I'd be interested to see how this worked. Excuse me. Traces of victim's blood, no prints. Now that's interesting, because she wasn't wearing gloves or anything. Because she had that bandage, or maybe she took gloves off, I don't know. Edgeworth? What? Are you sure you didn't do it? Come on, can't he take a joke? You have a strange sense of humor, Mr. Wright. Okay.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me.